Greetings, everybody, and a warm welcome to you from Centerville Bank Stadium in picturesque Pawtucket, Rhode Island, tonight for the Jaggermeister Cup, as Rhode Island at the USL Championship welcome Portland Hearts of Pine from USL League One. Sean St. Jacques, Marion Crowder, our entire crew, happy to have you with us for this Group 4 encounter where Cotto Smith's Rhode Island can take a gigantic step forward to potentially booking a place into the knockout stages in the Jaggermeister Cup. For Bobby Murphy and Portland Hearts of Pine, it's essentially a must-win, particularly if they want to get the automatic bid as the Group 4 winners and stay in the mix for a wild card spot. Of course, Marion, these two teams have met already this season in the Open Cup.
And Hearts of Pine was a nuisance the last time these two teams met. The kryptonite for them ended up being their box defending, though, Sean. It wasn't good enough on the night, and it's really been a struggle point for them in the League One season. But they've been very good at creating a response after those moments. And you and I both know that there is a lot more than just standings on the line this evening.
Yeah, no questions about that. And when you need someone to step up with something on the line, not bad to have Maxi Rodriguez on your side.
Not bad at all. Such a good quality player to have in those clutch situations. And we're actually going to see him in a bit of a deeper role tonight. Rhode Island's continuing to search for their chemistry in the attack. So as Maxi drops deeper, that gives Noah Fuson a chance to be in that attacking midfielder role, and we'll have to see how those two connect in different pockets of space.
Portland have already made a pretty big statement in this Jaggermeister Cup campaign when they took down Detroit last time out in the Cup.
And how good were they last time out? 4-2 win over Detroit City FC. They were wonderful in the transitional moments. They were efficient when they got into the final third, and they had a wonderful pocket presence that allowed for them to have variety in the attack. We're seeing Ollie Wright, and Sean, it's important to note that this is a Portland Hearts of Pine side that is going to be in 3 games in just 10 days. Expect to see some rotation out of the group.
And certainly a player to watch will be Nathaniel James, part of that group that has quite a bit of a plethora of attacking players.
And part of the rotation as well for Bobby Murphy's side. In 5 appearances, already 1 goal scored, but he does so much more than that. He is that link-up player, a player that not only is good, crafty on the ball, but a player who can really attract attention and open up outlets elsewhere.
So this game is going to have an edge to it as Portland have made the 3-hour journey south to Pawtucket to take on Rhode Island at Centerville Bank Stadium tonight with some Jaeger Cup standings up for grabs. We'll have the kickoff from Centerville Bank Stadium coming up next.
Progress. It's what we strive for, what we sacrifice for. It's about putting in the work. Early mornings, late nights, all in the pursuit of something greater. It's what moves us forward, what unites us. Because progress is more than a goal. It's the journey, the people who stand beside us, and the right partner. Centerville Bank, the official bank of Rhode Island FC. Progress on purpose.
You may think the nicest moments happen once you've arrived at your destination. At Breeze, we think they happen all along the way.
Yeah, let me grab that for you.
That was so nice.
Whether you're kicking back in Breeze Ascent or just enjoying time together in family seating, we take creating nice moments seriously, so you're ready for the rest of the journey ahead. When it's all over, the nicest moment might just be planning your next trip. Breeze. Seriously nice.
At Ortho Rhode Island, we've built the future of orthopedic care around an important foundation, you. Our experienced surgeons and specialists offer the full spectrum of orthopedic care with leading-edge treatments and technology and a one-of-a-kind patient experience. From diagnosis to outpatient surgery, physical and occupational therapy, acute injury care, and advanced imaging, we make you the cornerstone of innovative care. To learn more or schedule an appointment, visit orthopedicsri.com.
Rhode Island, are you ready? Rhode Island FC's brand new home, Centerville Bank Stadium, is waiting for you. Don't miss out on any of the action this season, as the Ocean State's very own look to defend their Eastern Conference title. Tickets are available now, starting as low as $16.36 per game. Scan the QR code to secure your seat today.
Jaggermeister is proud to be the presenting sponsor of the USL Jaggermeister Cup. Take a shot at glory and celebrate the magic of this exciting tournament all year long. Please drink responsibly. Sean St. Jacques, Marion Crowder back here with you. We look at the Bally Bet Casino starting lineups, beginning with Conno Smith and the hosts, Rhode Island.
Important to note, no Grant Stoneman. He went down in the first half of the last week's game. And there's the rotation in the midfield that we talked about in the open. Maxi Rodriguez, he drops down to more of a defensive central midfielder, and Noah Fuson allowed to play in a higher position on the field.
On the other side of things for Bobby Murphy and the Portland Hearts of Pine, they're hoping, with a much changed lineup, that they can make another Jaeger statement tonight.
And tons of rotation for this group. They are on a tough stretch of games, 3 in 10 days. Keep your eyes on number 77, Wada. He is going to be one that pulls the strings and connects all the lines together.
Ollie Wright, one of their best players, starts the night on the bench. Noazad Liati either for Portland Hearts of Pine. First half presented by First Class Marble and Granite. Another lovely tifo here at Centerville Bank Stadium in Pawtucket, Rhode Island as well. Conno Smith's side hoping they can finally turn some of these tough home results around. On the road, Rhode Island have been pretty good this season, all things considered. It's been at their new home where they still have just one win in all competitions. They're also the only team that's gone to Portland and won this season. Portland Hearts of Pine will hope to return the favor as far as the cup drama is concerned. Rhode Island are going to be in their navy blues with the yellow trim. They're going from left to right. Portland Hearts of Pine are in all white, and they'll begin defending on the right-hand side of your screen. Our referee, who is in yellow, is Mohammed Hassan, and we are just about set to go. Second all-time meeting between these two clubs and South in this New England encounter. Clay Holstead will lift it into the Portland half. It will bounce out of play for a goal kick, and we are off and running in the Jaggermeister Cup tonight. A Group 4 tilt. If Rhode Island can win this game, they would be in pole position to potentially win the group. Of course, that would be pending Hartford's result when they play Detroit tomorrow. And if Portland can win, they would be right back in the mix to potentially usurp the two USL Championship rivals. It's going to be a challenge, a foul, and a Rhode Island free kick on the far side as we take a look at keys to the game for RIFC success against Portland. They're presented by Flood Ford.
For Rhode Island, it's simply more commitment going forward. Sean, you and I talked about that this is a team that in 2025 wanted to add a bit more possession to their style, but they've arguably lost some of that direct RIFC nature that made them so dangerous last year. So Conno Smith wants to see that today. And then for Portland, they get narrow in their shape, and a lot of that is because of their aggressive nature with the way that they want to go at you. So in order to really have the most of this game, you're going to need to have high ball retention and make sure that you mitigate those transitional moments for Rhode Island FC.
This ball will be played in towards the edge of the 6. It falls for Joe Brito, who volleys it. It was blocked just about out of harm's way before being cleared upfield. It's good hold-up play by Titus Washington to help Portland move it up the other end. The ball forward in the end is wayward. It's a Rhode Island throw on the far side. Tonight's health report is presented by the official orthopedic partner and team physicians of RIFC. Orthopedicsri.com is where you go. It does seem like that the likes of Koke Vegas and J.J. Williams are getting closer to being back. Grant Stoneman might be a little bit longer than what we've been told by Conno Smith. And then Noazad Liati for Portland Hearts of Pine. That's a big miss for Bobby Murphy's group tonight, just considering how big he's been in all competitions for Portland this season.
Azad has been really special to watch, not only in some of these bigger cup games, but also in their League One regular season. Sean does a lot of things outside of the score sheet that really make this attack work.
Well, that went out of play. Looks like it is going to be a Portland throw on this near side. Mo Muhammad gets any moisture that's on the ball off of it so we can get a decent grip. Rhode Island won 2-1. First time these two teams got together in the US Open Cup. Goals from Holstead and Nodarse, enough to knock Portland Hearts of Pine out. The ball was threaded through. Lovely acrobatic clearance from Karifa Yao. And Rio Hope Gunn tries to follow up. Rhode Island will settle for a throw-in in the middle of their own half. Rhode Island FC would like to thank their anchor partners, Breeze Airways, Capelli Sports, Centerville Bank, and Ortho Rhode Island for their support on and off the field this season. Well, it's no secret that those have been following Conno Smith's side this season. It's been a struggle, particularly at home. 1 win in 6 at Centerville Bank Stadium in the league. Lost a heartbreaker here in the Open Cup against New England Revolution as well. But in the Jaeger Cup and on the road in the league, Conno Smith's side have been excellent at times this season. That's what's put them in this potential spot to go 9 points from 9 in Group 4 and either put themselves on a collision course for a Derby Day finale in Group 4 to see who wins the group, or puts them in pole position to win it without Hartford being as much of a threat. As Fuson tries to get onto that Dikwa back heel, and Portland will clear it.
And look, for all the Rhode Island FC fans that are starting to get in a panic, just because you've lost maybe a bit more this year than the draws you had last year, I can promise you, talked to Conno about it, did the math. From a points position, you're no worse for wear than you were at this time last season, and let's not remember where you finished last season in the USL final, that is. And so, look, I think that what we've seen from Rhode Island in the early part of this season is just a bit of seeking chemistry, right? We talked about in some of the previous games that Maxi Rodriguez, Noah Fuson, they're guys that like to play similarly to each other, and with that, you're going to have to figure out how those relationships start to mold and who brings the balance, who brings the attack, and all of those things take time. And so right now, I think that we're not only seeing player relationships continue to evolve, but I also think it's that stylistic relationship that we talked about in the Open. This is a team that last year didn't really have a lot of the possession numbers and wanted to make that more of a point of emphasis in 2025. But with that, and with the increased possession, we've seen a little bit.
Fuson's ball into the middle, headed away. Rodriguez miscues his volley.
We've seen a little less of that, and that's exactly what Conno Smith wants to see coming into this match. He wants to see a bit more willingness to go forward, just a bit more creativity and bite to what these players can do, not only getting in line, but then the commitment to the 18-yard box, having runners be willing to go and make 3 runs, near post, far post, slashing. That's a really good start for Rhode Island.
Rhode Island is proud to welcome MyRI TV as a broadcast partner this season. RIFC fans can now watch live action regionally on Nesson, locally on MyRI, and stream on ESPN+. So you don't have to miss any of the action throughout the season. Nodarse is down here for Rhode Island, who's going to be very key moving forward, particularly with the absence of Grant Stoneman, who's just been an omnipresent figure in Conno Smith's group. Here was the coming together. A little bit of a talking to there from the referee to Titus Washington. Rhode Island restart the play in their own half. And Holstead plays a delicious ball over the top to Jojea Quizera, who was not able to time up his run, but did appreciate the effort. Cash Oladapo gets the start tonight for Portland Hearts of Pine. It is a much changed side for a Bobby Murphy group that is struggling away from home this season. Haven't won away from home in USL League One. Haven't won away from home in Jaeger Cup either this season. And in the league, it's now 7 in a row without a win, but 5 of those have been draws. In some ways, it's a little similar to Rhode Island's inaugural season. So many draws throughout this season for Portland, particularly in the league, 6 of them out of 10. And it's actually found them 10th in USL League One.
Probably the biggest similarity between these two teams are the small margins that their games are coming down to, right? Just little moments, little details where they've both been on the unfavorable end, especially as their USL Championship and League One seasons have gone underway.
Lovely little touch down this near side for Jake Keegan. Keegan's got his head up, the ball into the middle though is right at Jackson Lee for Rhode Island. Holstead for Rio Hope Gund. Select is proud to be the official match ball supplier of the USL Championship, from the Academy to the big leagues. They're there every step of the way. us.select-sport.com is the place to go for the latest Select products, specials, and more. Select is the player's choice. It's going to be thrown down the line. Pushing a chase here from Dikwa. Fuson dribbles into traffic and follows through in the end. It's a foul against Fuson. It's a free kick for Portland. And Fuson also gets a talking to from the referee here. We'll get another look.
I have no qualms either way. Look, let's call this game what it is. It is a budding regional rivalry, and you said it in the open. They've met, this is their second time in actual competition, but they also met twice in preseason.
Right.
So these are two teams that, and with that, you see a lot of rotation for players, right? You've seen them in Open Cup, and everyone's approach to Open Cup is going to be different than Jaeger Cup, and everyone's approach to preseason is going to be different. So all of these players have seen the nuances that these teams can set up within the 90 minutes, and because of that, you're going to start to see a little bit of chippiness, and that's what you want out of a game like this.
Well, and Bobby Murphy said he wants to muck this game up a bit, doesn't want to get into a track meet with Rhode Island, wants to make it as difficult for them as possible. And as we know, Marion, Rhode Island have had their difficulties at home this season, kind of capped off with that tough defeat just 6 days ago here against the Sacramento Republic team that needed a little bit of momentum to get off the mat themselves, and they found it here in Pawtucket. And Rhode Island weren't able to capitalize on the momentum that came from that dramatic win here against North Carolina a few weeks back. That felt like a turning point, but Rhode Island never really fully took advantage of that in the games that have followed, and they're hoping to kind of reinvigorate things here in the Jaeger Cup tonight.
And the best thing that they can do in order to reinvigorate themselves is to score early, because as you pointed out, the longer this game holds 0-0, the more it favors Hearts of Pine.
Keegan into the middle. It's headed towards the penalty spot. Karifa Yao gets it out of trouble for Rhode Island. Dikwa's little flick for Fuson, and Fuson gets it away from two challenges. Chance for Rhode Island to break here. Brito keeps the ball in play. Fuson with the arriving Rio Hope Gund. The ball bounces out of play on this near side. It's going to be a Portland throw, much to the chagrin of some of the Rhode Island fans here on this near side. Well, don't miss out on the return of Pawtucket's fireworks show on July 5th. Secure your seat by scanning the QR code now. That's another big game on Rhode Island's calendar coming up against Birmingham Legion, now under the instructions of Mark Briggs. Another Rhode Island free kick, Quizera brought down. And quickly finds Holstead as Rhode Island try to use this far left-hand channel to break towards the 18-yard box. Holstead switches it onto this near side. It's Brito trying to find Rio Hope Gund. Portland trying to clear it with Keegan on this near side. They'll just knock it out of play for a throw. Nodarce from Rodriguez. Lovely threading of the needle for Noah Fuson. Rodriguez out to the far side. This is Sanchez clipping it into the 18-yard box. And initially, it was Mohamed trying to hold everybody off. He gives the ball back to Rodriguez. Tries an outside of the boot feed through the traffic. Dispossessed. Chance for Washington to hold up the play up the other end. He's beaten to it by Nodarse. Sanchez picks up the pieces, threads the needle for Quizera. We'll settle for a throw on this far side. Holstead, who did score against Portland in the Open Cup, as did Frank Nodarse, who's just to his left, and gets the ball here from Rodriguez. Portland did score late on in that Open Cup meeting. 2-1 ended up being the final score. And then that is going to be an advantage play. It looked like it was going to be stopped initially. Referee rightly allows Portland to continue on down this far side. Rhode Island get back in defensive position to force Portland Hearts of Pine into a recycle. It's Camacho. Gets it back on this near side. There's time and space for him if he wants to run into the Rhode Island half. He thinks better of it. Played all the way back by Wada. And then it's clipped over the top towards the edge of the 18-yard box in Jackson Lee. He's there. The last time out in the league for Portland was, you may have guessed it, a draw against AV Alta. As Adliati did get a goal in that game. Unfortunately, is not available tonight. And Ali Wright, who's also been instrumental to a lot of Portland's success this season, played really well, of course, against Detroit in the last Jaeger Cup game, is available, but would come off the bench for Bobby Murphy's group tonight. When you're battling on multiple fronts, this is some of what Bobby Murphy has to do, try to keep players fresh and continue to try to push for success, not just in the league, but here in the cup. Referee takes a good hard look at that situation. It is going to be a Rhode Island free kick, and we are going to see a yellow card brandished as well towards Walter Varela.
And on that note, Sean, Portland Hearts of Pine just trying to be a bit more patient, right? We typically see them in a bit more of an aggressive defensive shape. They're content right now sitting in that mid to low block. A lot of that probably because of the rotation of the players and trying to jump moments like this, right? Jump entry passes into the feet of Noah Fuson, into the feet of Albert Dikwa, and see if they can't turn that into a transitional moment. But you mentioned Ali Wright and company, players who, if this game continues to be prolonged at a 0-0 scoreline, will be of much interest coming in late to this one, perhaps.
Yellow card has been issued to number 22, Walter Varela of Portland in the 17th minute.
It's driven towards the near side of the 6. Great header by Nodarse. Oh, and it was nearly a wonderful goal. Fuson rattles the frame. After one of the best set-piece routines we've seen from Rhode Island all season.
And they've scouted this Portland Hearts of Pine side well. This is a team that has struggled in the second phase of play, particularly on set-piece situations. Straight off the training ground, well done to get that ball to the delayed run of Noah Fuson. Just couldn't get through it.
Rhode Island win the ball back. Rodriguez over the top. It's a little dink, and it's a wonderful finish. Albert Dikwa delivers in the Jaggermeister Cup. And Rhode Island draw first blood to take a 1-0 lead.
I want you to keep your eyes on Albert Dikwa in this replay. Watch how he makes this play predictable. Everyone knows that this is going to be ushered to the inline. That allows for Clay Holstad to shift. It causes just enough discomfort to make a turnover happen. And then Albert Dikwa, he gets it started by making the play predictable and a cheeky little finish right over the goalkeeper. And this is the early goal, the positive start that Kano Smith wanted for his group at home.
It's Albert Dikwa's first goal in the Jaggermeister Cup. And it provides Rhode Island with a huge lift. Rhode Island goals are brought to you by Capelli Sport. And Albert Dikwa, who Kano Smith has told us this season, doesn't always get the credit for how hard he works when he's out there on the pitch for Rhode Island, comes up with another big goal in Rhode Island's season. And Rhode Island go right back on the front foot here with Noah Fuson. Joe Brito was open on this near side. He will not get to that feed. But Rhode Island stay on the front foot, and they have a throw-in on the near side. Leo Hope Gunn will leave it. This tends to be Clay Holstad territory, these long throws. Kano Smith did tell us a few weeks ago that Clay Holstad's a player that could pick up any sport and just be good at it immediately. Must be nice.
I'm assuming you don't share that sentiment.
Sanchez blocked away. I'm just slightly jealous. Not everyone can be that good every time they pick up a sport.
You're not that good at cricket? Because I know that that's what we're referencing.
That is true. I've only picked up a cricket bat maybe twice in my life,
There is
to
no,
be fair.
I would not know one thing to do.
Portland in some trouble here, but they'll get a throw-in on the near side. Well, the New England Laborers are training the art training facilities across Rhode Island, Massachusetts, and Connecticut. So you'll be equipped with classroom and job site knowledge to start a rewarding career in the construction industry. Build your future with the union that built the stadium here in Rhode Island. Home to Rhode Island FC. I'm sure Clay Holstad would be good at that as well, as Fuson picks it up here. Here is Clay Holstad. Brito plays it off back towards the halfway line for Yao. And no Darce. Towards the sideline, just out of the reach of Quizera. Well, if you're looking for help on how to pay for college, look no further. RISLA. They've been helping students and families for decades. RISLA.com is where you go to find out more. Portland looking for a riposte here. Couldn't find Washington, who was well covered. And Rhode Island reset with no Darce. Ball is clipped down this near side. It's Brito. Early ball looking for Dikwa. He's cut out. Brito again. Rio Hope gunned. Direct traffic here, no Darce. Can Rhode Island take advantage of grabbing the early goal here? And lovely little bit of build-up. The layoff for Fuson, though, never gets there. It's a good sliding challenge. And then Portland will alleviate the pressure by getting a free kick. Getting to the game is easy with RIPTA's free game day bus service. Buses loop every 8 to 10 minutes between the Pawtucket Central Falls Transit Center, Centerville Bank Stadium, and the stadium's reserved parking lots. To get the full list of stops, go to RIPTA.com/RIFC. Hope Gunn's header comes up short. Keegan playing it into the path of Wada. Switched over to the far side. Can Portland maybe create something here? Still an opportunity to chip this towards the area, but Holstead steps in the way. And Rhode Island have a chance to break up the other end. Holstead never stopped running. It's played into his path on this near side. And Holstead will not win the throw. It comes off of him last. I think Rhode Island aren't too pleased about that. Portland aren't too pleased that Holstead ran away with the ball. It is a throw into the visitors in the end. Mohammed now has it. That is one back by Washington, who threads a lovely ball through here onto this near side. And in the end, it's well recovered by Nodarse, who outruns Natty James. Portland can still continue on the front foot here with a corner. What a job Bobby Murphy has done. Former St. Louis City FC2 coach in MLS Next Pro. Was a serial winner there with that really strong organization. Contested multiple trophies during his time. The players loved playing for him. Just seemingly has bought into this Portland community. And is hoping to continue this Jaeger Cup journey. That would be another banner day. Portland Hearts of Pine could get a result tonight, and that is going to be a foul going the other way. A swing from Camacho. Rhode Island get the free kick. Looks like Karifa Yao is still down. Not the worst of that.
Camacho just trying to make contact with this one, get his hips around it, get it back towards the frame of goal. Happens to catch Karifa Yao in the mix. Well put, what you said about Bobby Murphy, though. Players love to play for him. We love to talk to him. And very, very cool to hear how he has made the vision of what they've produced in the 90 minutes match the community of Portland.
He's also apparently a very good sweatshirt model as well.
How
good does that look?
First of all, quick shout to the creative offices back in Portland Hearts of Pine. And quick shout to the brand team over there. Everything I wanted.
So
our
slick.
Producer, we need to get him a hat. He had to settle for a hoodie. I said, I think you got the better of the deal, my friend.
Meanwhile, Titus Washington, excellent build-up play. Keegan couldn't get his feet right on the edge of the 18, and Rodriguez clears. Although he gives it right back to Mo Mohammed. And Mohammed strides forward here, trying to fit it through a tight angle. He was brought down. And the referee gives Portland a free kick just outside the box.
Very dangerous free kick situation here for Rhode Island in terms of defending. And as they're trying to clear their lines, trying to look for an outlet, Mo Mohammed does ever so well to read it through and just keeps driving until someone picks him up. Finds himself in a bit of contact, welcomes it well. And ultimately, it's going to be likely a shot on target from this distance.
Masashi Wada and Natty James, who we highlighted earlier, are mulling this one over. Both are prime candidates to strike this on target. Rhode Island will have 5 men in the wall here. 6 if you include Fuson behind the wall. Brito just off to the side. Wouldn't put it past Bobby Murphy to have something else up his sleeve here. This almost is too tantalizing to not try and shoot this on target from the dead ball situation. It's James. Oh, it nearly goes in. And then on the follow-up, Rodriguez makes a critical challenge to make sure Keegan didn't tap it in. Heroic defending from Maxi.
That's big time from Maxi Rodriguez. First of all, just look at the bend on the strike and the ever elusive Jake Keegan in the 18-yard box, always looking for a tap in, always a player that's gonna hit the follow-ups. Maxi Rodriguez reads him the whole way, beats him to it. That's what you want to see from your attacker, being a two-way player, doing his defensive responsibilities as well.
We talked about fine margins with these two teams, case and point. How close was Keegan to just tapping it in, only for Maxi Rodriguez to rob him off the line?
Yeah, and that right there is what has made Jake Keegan one of the best historical League One attackers. Has played for several big-time clubs, has been a part of some championship runs, and he's always got a nose for goal in those situations.
Formerly a Greenville Triumph, forward Madison, one Knox, and to complete the League One merry-go-round, Northern Colorado Hailstorm. Of course, now defunct, but also won the Jaeger Cup last year. Well, don't miss out on the return of Pawtucket's fireworks show, again, July 5th. Secure your seats by scanning the QR code. Rhode Island will be playing the Birmingham Legion in a big game in the Eastern Conference of the USL Championship. Ball is threaded through nicely again. More positive Portland build-up play here. And Washington trying to play it across. It was the right idea. Fuson tries to win it back for Rhode Island and does get away from a couple of challenges, allowing Brito and the hosts to settle it down.
Are you a firework fan?
Oh, of course. Who isn't?
My dog. I can tell you that much.
Oh, good call. Good call.
He's not. Maybe leave your pups at home, everyone.
Nothing a pair of Rhode Island earmuffs that I'm sure they sell.
There you go. And if you don't, now you have an idea.
You're welcome. Brito into the middle. Ooh, looked like there may have been a collision away from the ball here. Player down for Portland in the penalty area is Shannon Wright. Referee spotted that well, and looks like Portland are going to get a free kick. Well, soccer season is here, and SeatGeek is the official ticketing partner of the USL. Get all your USL tickets and more from the #1 ticketing site. SeatGeek is your ticket to great seats, even for your dog, I'm told. How about that?
How incredible. Inclusivity.
Even for a fireworks show with your dog. They're just that good. Fuson has also been very good in this first half. Tried to head that forward. Nodarse follows up. Fuson, lovely. Towards this far sideline, Quizera. Trying to cut in field. It's really well defended by Wright. Quizera doesn't give up. And pushes right over. Referee lets that go. And then Quizera wins a corner.
Fans, it's time for a Chick-fil-A Attleboro
Of course, it's a Chick-fil-A Attleboro corner. Free chicken sandwiches this year for home goals from a corner for Rhode Island. And for those just maybe tuning into this giveaway, haven't had one yet this season.
The foot stampede grows ever louder.
The foot stomp is still there in anticipation. We've even had the Chick-fil-A cow here a couple of times. That didn't help either. Get it over the line. Could Mac intervenes. Has a talk with Sean Binberg. Does appear that Rhode Island have something up their sleeves here. Rodriguez towards Karifa Yao. Didn't quite get his head to that, and then there was a foul in the build-up. Bold, fearless, and always pushing the limits. Hobo's Boom Sauce isn't just a beer, it's your catalyst for adventure. It's that friend who always has one other waiting for you at Rhode Island FC. Boom Sauce, the double IPA that's always ready to fuel your next move.
I mean, I'm sold.
I was sold halfway through.
I heard it in your voice.
You could tell, right? Here comes Rhode Island again. This is Jojea Quizera. Did ever so well.
Decisions from our referee.
Wonder if Oladapo's body maybe shielded the assistant referee from the look here, as Rhode Island are now upset about something else, and the referee wants them to separate here. We'll get another look to see what happened. Ooh, the push from Rio Hope Gund sends Keegan into the advertisement board.
In fairness, coming at a little bit of retribution for a two-arm grab by Jake Keegan as well.
Well, I think Clay Holstead may have just talked himself into a yellow card here. Quizera was in the area as well, but it's Holstead who is still chirping away.
Also pointed to his captain's armband, signaling I am the one that's allowed to talk to you. A little bit confused that I can't do that as part of my captain's responsibility.
Well, James and Wada, again, will stand over a Portland set piece, under 10 to play in the half here in the Jaggermeister Cup. Dikwa's goal has Rhode Island in front. James hits the wall, and Clay Holstead's hustle to try to save it does see the ball just leak over the end line, and it will be a Portland Hearts of Pine corner.
Yellow card has been issued to number 17, Jojea Quizera of Rhode Island FC in the 36th minute.
Just announced that the yellow card was actually for Quizera. Well, we missed that portion of the discussion there. So not for Holstead, but for Quizera instead on that yellow. Couple of odd moments with some refereeing discussions in this first half.
And it's really well done from Jackson Lee right now, recognizing that it's been a bit of chaotic, right? And that does not bode you well in terms of closing out this half with the scoreline. So he just takes his time, lets his team reset, take a few deep breaths. Very well done by Jackson Lee.
Again, Rhode Island trying to go 9 points out of 9 here in Group 4. Pending Hartford's game tomorrow in the Jaeger Cup against Detroit, could put Cano Smith's side, if they win tonight, in pole position to advance to the next round. But Portland have time, of course, to turn this around. Wada played that out wide. It slipped through for Natty James on the far side, doubled up, but James nearly slipped through it. Holstead wins it back. And some muscle movement there from Varela to keep it with Portland on the far side. Washington. Back for Varela. Wada is just about dispossessed by Fuson and then fouls Noah Fuson. I think Rhode Island won a booking for that, but the ball just goes back into play. Fuson couldn't keep his footing. Portland win the ball back, and they could sprint forward here on this far side with James. James trying to spin out of trouble. He's dispossessed. James stays down as Sanchez clears it up ahead. A push and a chase from Dikwa, but too much on the touch. Well, RIFC fans, grab yourself an ice-cold Pepsi Zero Sugar for the match. Zero never tasted so good. Try it to believe it. Pepsi Zero Sugar is a proud partner of RIFC.
I've always told you to keep an eye on what the midfield rotation for RIFC looks like. Back to that in a moment.
Could be a chance here for Portland. Don't quite have the numbers yet, but they slide it through again, and this has sort of been where it breaks down for Portland. They get it towards the edge of the 18-yard box, and besides one or two opportunities, it has fizzled out for them at times. Rhode Island trying to get on with it quickly, maybe too quickly, from the Quizera set piece.
Yeah, good idea. Execution just not there. But I have loved so far what I've seen about the chemistry of dropping Maxi Rodriguez deeper, putting Noah Fuson back in a higher central starting position. A lot of that is because Noah Fuson will start almost as a second striker with Albert Dikwa. Then he checks off the line, and that's put this Portland Hearts of Pine back line into all kinds of precarious positions. And then you see it right here, the defensive willingness from Maxi Rodriguez, dropping him back a little bit deeper.
Nodarse out wide. Layer Sanchez for Fuson. Holstead from Quizera. Real Hope Gunn had both of his arms up on this near side. Watson on this near sideline. Back for Karifa Yao. Holstead down the line, and it is cut out, but out for a Rhode Island throw. Oh, can't watch the match? Turn on Sirius XMFC 157, North America's only 24/7 source for engaging soccer talk, including USL All Access. On Tuesday nights, hear live matches from the USL, MLS, Premier League, and Sanchez. Curled in by Quizera, headed away by Keegan. Only as far as Holstead. Rodriguez slides it through beautifully, and it's a good save by the goalkeeper as Dikwa was in search of his second, but Oladapo is there to deny him. It does go out for a corner.
Another wonderful part about pulling Maxi Rodriguez back a little bit further from goal is that he's often going to be facing goal instead of having to turn and play back to goal. This is a prime example where he opens up his hips, checks his shoulder, and then he's facing all of his options. It's a wonderful run, and what about the positioning there from Oladapo? Very similar to the big-time saves he made against Detroit City. Kept them in that game more often than not.
Another Chick-fil-A Attleboro corner. Rhode Island looked to double their lead before the end of the half. This is over the top here. Oh, and Rodriguez had stayed up there. Put too much on it for Dikwa. Dikwa doesn't give up on this here. He's still trying to get back on the ball, but commits a foul. And it's a free kick. Well, there's no job too big for Norfolk Power Equipment, New England's premier Kubota dealer. Norfolk Power Equipment's a proud sponsor of Rhode Island FC. Come down today and get the job done with Norfolk Power. Albert Dikwa's goal has Rhode Island ahead. Sean St. Jacques, Marion Crowder, our entire crew, happy to have you with us on a Jaeger Cup Friday night for a big slate of Jaeger Cup games throughout the rest of the weekend, particularly tomorrow night. Lovely little slalom dribble there from Wada. Portland keep it on this far side. Again, Rhode Island just seem to be in a better shape, certainly than they were against Sac Republic at times. They're just closing down the spaces, making it difficult on Portland to do what they want to do when they have the ball here.
It's a bit more conviction, right, with how they're defending, and that was something that Conno Smith talked about. Wasn't really pleased with the second goal that they gave up against Sacramento Republic. Didn't feel like there was enough grit in that one, and certainly not the case here this first half.
Nudged forward by Mo Mohammed. His cross is too close to Jackson Lee as he was trying to put it on a plate for Titus Washington. And we enter 2 added minutes, half.
Solutions.
Dikwa wins the header. Try to just slip it through there for Fuson. Hope Gunn follows up. Brito thought that was handled on this near side, and then it's a poor challenge from Maxi Rodriguez. Free kick as Mickey Riley was brought down. Again, this is a growing rivalry. We're maybe seeing more and more challenges being contested, more discussions with the referee than maybe normal. Everyone trying to gain an inch. Again, it's also pivotal for Portland to win this game, because if they don't, they're more than likely on the outside looking in Group 4 for a place in the knockout stage, and that includes a potential wild card berth. Sitting on just 3 points with 1 game left, you're more than likely out. There's the live table briefly as it stands there. Remember, Detroit plays Hartford tomorrow. That's a really big game as well. Westchester and Pittsburgh essentially, not mathematically, but essentially out, unfortunately, because they just can't make up the points. Only a couple of games left, particularly after this weekend. There will be 1 game left for most teams in the Jaeger Cup group phase. Again, there is the mouth-watering prospect, potentially, if Rhode Island were to win this game, and if Hartford wins tomorrow, and those are still big ifs at the moment, that they could meet in a derby to decide the group, but we're a long way away from getting to there. It is 1-0 Rhode Island at the half here tonight against Portland Hearts of Pine, thanks to Albert Dikwa, and Rhode Island could have had 1 or 2 more.
Agreed. I think ultimately it was a much better balance between possession moments and direct moments for RIFC, and a lot more grit to their defensive posture. I think for Portland Hearts of Pines, they're actually fine with this scoreline. Yeah, they salvaged some energy and they managed some minutes, but with only 45 left to go, I think we're going to see a lot more bite to their press and try to get Rhode Island out of this mid-block.
Well, Rhode Island are a bit frustrated going into the halftime locker room. There may have been a yellow card given out while the Rhode Island team was walking off the field. We'll have more on that a little bit later, but it's 1-0 Rhode Island at the half here at Centerville Bank Stadium. We'll look around the Jaeger Cup and more after the break.
It's time to hit. It's time to fly. It's time to leave it all on the line. It's time to get loud. And time for tradition. This is our time. This is your time. It's rugby time, America.
Progress. It's what we strive for, what we sacrifice for. It's about putting in the work. Early mornings, late nights, all in the pursuit of something greater. It's what moves us forward, what unites us. Because progress is more than a goal. It's the journey, the people who stand beside us, and the right partner. Centerville Bank, the official bank of Rhode Island FC. Progress on purpose.
At Ortho Rhode Island, we've built the future of orthopedic care around an important foundation, you. Our experienced surgeons and specialists offer the full spectrum of orthopedic care with leading-edge treatments and technology and a one-of-a-kind patient experience. From diagnosis to outpatient surgery, physical and occupational therapy, acute injury care, and advanced imaging, we make you the cornerstone of innovative care. To learn more or schedule an appointment, visit orthopedicsri.com.
You may think the nicest moments happen once you've arrived at your destination. At Breeze, we think they happen all along the way.
Yeah, let me grab that for you.
That was so nice.
Whether you're kicking back in Breeze Ascent or just enjoying time together in family seating, we take creating nice moments seriously, so you're ready for the rest of the journey ahead. When it's all over, the nicest moment might just be planning your next trip. Breeze. Seriously nice.
Welcome back, everybody. Rhode Island leading Portland by 1-0 in the USL Jaggermeister Cup here tonight in Pawtucket. We'll have the second half coming up in just a few moments. But, of course, also coming up is July 4th weekend. Don't miss out. The return of Pawtucket's fireworks show July 5th. Secure your seat for Rhode Island against Birmingham by going to the QR code now on your screen. And, of course, Rhode Island take on Hartford in the Derby July 19th. Be there for the first Centerville Bank edition of the Rhode Island-Hartford rivalry. Cannot wait to see how that one plays out. And then, of course, Centerville Bank Stadium will host Major League Rugby's championship on June 28th. That's tomorrow. Tickets available now at majorleague.rugby/champ. You might want to get those soon as they are going fast. We'll step aside for a moment. Rhode Island up for now. We'll see if Portland have a response in the second half. We'll look around the Jaggermeister Cup and more after the break.
They say it's a radio show, so why are we on TV? That's a good question. We've got a lot of them for Sean McCauley. The Indy 11 head coach joins us this week.
Feel like he's got some ideas that are going to help revolutionize the Indy 11 and what the championship looks like moving forward from a recruiting standpoint. North Carolina FC ends Louisville's historic unbeaten run to start the season. What does it mean overall?
We chat about all that and more. USL All Access Tuesday night.
Pain doesn't care who you are or why you hurt, but pain can be mastered if you know the way.
Focus!
Fight back with Tiger Balm's legendary herbal power.
Whatever it takes.
Trusted for over 100 years. Tiger Balm's proven herbal blend tames pain with the strength and speed of the tiger so that you can rise above pain.
Let's make a Karate Kid.
And get back to living. This is the way of the tiger.
Today we went to the beach, and it was totally worth it. Stay 3 nights this summer at Best Western and get $50 off a future stay.
3 ice-cold Jägermeister shots, please. Those look warm.
Serve it cold or don't serve it at all. Jägermeister. Damn, that's cold.
Brilliant strike from Nicoleno. Push the switchbacks up 1-0. Slotted toward goal. A flying start for Charleston Battery at home.
1-0 Rhode Island leading Portland Hearts of Pine in the USL Jaggermeister Cup tonight. We'll get to the second half in this pivotal game in just a few moments. These fans are the winners of the Seriously Nice seat upgrade, courtesy of Breeze Airways. Each match, Breeze Airways upgrades lucky fans to a premium matchday experience. Breeze Airways is a proud partner, of course, of Rhode Island FC. Some of the best seats in the house, dare I say, at Centerville Bank Stadium. Sean St. Jacques, Marion Crowder here with you. News and notes from around the Jaggermeister Cup. Well, it had to end at some point. Blue City's unbeaten streak ended on Friday night. North Carolina, another strong result for John Bradford's group there.
And really another statement to how good this North Carolina FC team really is in terms of flying under the radar. As you mentioned, felt like that Rhode Island win was going to give them some momentum. Hopefully that win coupled with another solid 45 minutes will give this RIFC team what they've been looking for.
We'll see if Stephen Kelly can give Orange County something that they need at the moment, which is a boost in this Jaggermeister Cup. They need to win tomorrow night to have any chance of staying alive. And then, of course, Spokane Velocity fighting on multiple fronts in the USL League One and in the Jaggermeister Cup as well. They've been rolling as of late. Of course, they had that recent big win over the Richmond Kickers. We'll see if the Velocity can keep on moving it in the right direction. Well, do you want to know what it's like to be a part of a USL broadcast? Well, now you can find out right now.
Turn on your TV and get ready to be entertained. Few things can captivate a mass audience like live sports. And if a broadcast feels like magic,
a lot of people just think you flick the switch and it's easy and it magically appears, but there's so much that goes into it behind the scenes.
Mike Friedman is the vice president and executive producer at NEP Media Services. For USL national broadcasts on CBS, Friedman's team is close to 40 people.
They're led by the producer and director. That's for any production. And then from there, you have associate directors, you have graphics people, you have replay people, you have the camera operators, you have engineers, you have tech managers, all working for that one common goal of a smooth broadcast.
Now, here's something you may not know. At NEP in South Florida, hundreds of broadcasts in the USL Championship, League One, and Super League are broadcast remotely. All stadium cameras feed directly to NEP. And just like a truck on site, camera shots are switched live. And there are eyeballs on the product. In April, CBS's production of Phoenix Rising FC at San Antonio FC peaked at 776,000 viewers.
The way we do TV for other sports is different than soccer. So it's finding that sweet spot of taking what people are used to seeing and adding that American TV touch into it.
Ortho Rhode Island, we've built the future of orthopedic care around an important foundation, you. Our experienced surgeons and specialists offer the full spectrum of orthopedic care with leading-edge treatments and technology and a one-of-a-kind patient experience. From diagnosis to outpatient surgery, physical and occupational therapy, acute injury care, and advanced imaging, we make you the cornerstone of innovative care. To learn more or schedule an appointment, visit orthopedicsri.com.
Progress. It's what we strive for, what we sacrifice for. It's about putting in the work. Early mornings, late nights, all in the pursuit of something greater. It's what moves us forward, what unites us. Because progress is more than a goal. It's the journey, the people who stand beside us, and the right partner. Centerville Bank, the official bank of Rhode Island FC. Progress on purpose.
You may think the nicest moments happen once you've arrived at your destination. At Breeze, we think they happen all along the way.
Yeah, let me grab that for you.
That was so nice.
Whether you're kicking back in Breeze Ascent or just enjoying time together in family seating, we take creating nice moments seriously, so you're ready for the rest of the journey ahead. When it's all over, the nicest moment might just be planning your next trip. Breeze. Seriously nice.
It doesn't matter what you ride to work as long as you leave your car behind. Drive less, bike more. With the Drive Less RI app, every green trip counts. Whether you're pedaling to the office or cruising to class, log your bike trips and start earning rewards. Be a climate champion. Bike more, drive less. Download the Drive Less RI app today, because every mile matters. Visit drivelessri.com to get started.
Welcome back, everybody. Sean St. Jacques, Marion Crowder, our entire crew. Happy to have you with us for some Friday night action in the USL Jaggermeister Cup. Rhode Island fans in the groove right now, leading by a 0-0 over Portland Hearts of Pine.
What a stash.
Not bad. The goal wasn't bad either from Rhode Island in this first half. We begin with the highlights, though, by Cox Business here, with Portland building out of the back, and then the takeaway from Rhode Island.
Yeah, really good recognition and really good defensive structure. Albert Dikwa makes this play predictable. All the players behind him know what they should do after that, and then it's quick the other way. He's in wonderful position, and it's a cheeky little finish. There were moments for Portland Hearts of Pine, particularly in dead piece situations, and look at Maxi Rodriguez putting in the extra effort. Not only does he put it in, but he gets a lot of extra love from Jackson Lee. Proud to see his attacker shining in the defensive side of the ball as well. 43rd minute, Clay Holstad picks it up. Maxi Rodriguez opens his hips. It's a wonderful little run from Albert Dikwa. Great texture on the pass, but the positioning from Oladapo is even better.
Rhode Island could have had maybe one or two more in that first half. Halftime stats look like this: 3 shots on target out of the 7 that Rhode Island have had. I think what'll make Cano Smith even more happy is that Portland haven't scored and they've only had that 1 shot on target.
And this is where, if you're Rhode Island FC, that complete 90-minute performance is starting to become in your mind. That 62 possession number, not only are they gaining the majority of the possession, but they're also quite dangerous and quite quick in their moments to go forward. If you can balance those two and then close this out in the second 45 minutes, this would arguably be the best performance for Rhode Island FC this year.
For just their second home win in all competitions. And if they get it, they would get in pole position in Group 4 to grab top spot and a place in the knockout stage, the USL Jaggermeister Cup. So a lot on the line. Portland do have to come back and potentially win this game if they want to stay in the hunt for that top spot, particularly a loss here, even a loss on a potential penalty shootout, and Bobby Murphy's side would be very much on the outskirts looking in the Jaeger Cup, going into a date with Pittsburgh on the final Jaggermeister Cup match day. Looks like Portland did make a halftime change. We've been told Nathan Messer has come on for Sean Vinberg at the start of the second half. Teams, of course, will switch sides at the start of the second half. Portland will be going from left to right. And James gets the second half started by just clipping it into the Rhode Island half and giving Cano Smith's side a throw.
I really liked how you laid out exactly what's needed in terms of goals for Portland Hearts of Pine, because I think that that's what everyone loves so much about USL Cup, is that in a situation like this, typically 1-0 down, you're still not going to push too much forward, right? You're going to look to play for that draw more often than not, see if you can pull the game winner late. This is a cup that makes you go for it. It makes you make changes immediately, so I think that we'll see a lot more bite to this Hearts of Pine side in the second 45.
Oh, Maxi Rodriguez is struggling a bit there for Rhode Island, trying to run something off at the moment. We were saying going into halftime that it looked like Mohamed Hassan had booked somebody going into the locker room for Rhode Island. We have been told that it was Cano Smith that got a yellow card. The twist is that we've also just been told that coming out of the locker room, Cano Smith picked up a second yellow from the referee and has been sent off before the second half began here. So Cano Smith has been ejected for Rhode Island and cannot be on the sideline for the rest of the night.
You can't say he doesn't have conviction.
Brito Into the middle looking for Dikwa. It could fall here. It does fall here for Quizera, who lines it up from Maxi Rodriguez. His ankle was closed down. Hope gunned out wide again for Brito. A Travella cross that comes up short. Sanchez, Rodriguez, a no-look over-the-head pass for Quizera, who keeps it in play, but Sanchez handles it as it bounces off his boot, and it's a Portland free kick. Well, High Noon's quality is second to none, formulated with real spirits, juice, and iced tea. No added sugar and natural flavors. High Noon is the perfect drink for any occasion. Washington did everything he could to keep it in play, but eventually Rhode Island, well, they had it for a moment on this near side. Wonderful work in the end by Varela.
And then Maxi right behind him.
Maxi with a hand on his head here, and, well, it's like Maxi's been booked. And we have found Cano Smith. Call off the search. He cannot be on the sideline, but he's on the roof at Centerville Bank Stadium. I'm not sure I've ever seen that before in a USL game. The Cano Perch, as it'll soon be known.
But not only have you trademarked the Attleboro foot stomp here at Centerville Bank Stadium, you have now also named a perch.
Did not have that on my bingo card tonight, I will say that. This is an awkward moment here for Portland. Again, struggling at times to deal with defensive moments. Rhode Island keep the pressure on with Quizera, who finds Holstead. Rodriguez. Quizera with Sanchez on the overlapping run. It's brilliant. Sanchez across. It's a wonderful goal from Dikwa. Talk about a poacher's finish. Albert Dikwa with a brace in the Jaggermeister Cup. It's his first 2 goals he's ever scored in this tournament, and Rhode Island are 2 to the good in Pawtucket tonight.
So many good things happening in this replay. We talked about the relationship. Noah Fuson occupying defenders higher. Maxi Rodriguez with the ability, playing in a deeper position to play with his hips to goal. And then it's a wonderful overlap, an overload of the width area, and then a slashing run to the near post.
Dikwa at the double in the Jaggermeister Cup. And Portland, must be said, in a heap of trouble now.
No doubt about it. I think there are so many things in that replay that really go unseen, right? Noah Fuson, just the attention that he draws, it really kept players occupied outside the frame of goal. The recognition from Maxi Rodriguez to see that the overload's occurring in the wide area. And then the recognition from Albert Dikwa started 2 passes earlier. He started timing that run into the 18-yard box, exploded to the near post, and just got an incredible touch on it. And I have to say, I know that that would have looked good for Cano Smith on the sideline. I have a feeling it might have looked better from the roof with how beautiful that one was.
Rhode Island goals are brought to you by Capelli Sport. Here's Rodriguez. Quizera. Portland Hearts of Pine need a goal as soon as possible to try and turn their fortunes around here. James, trying to move it forward, was brought down. Portland Hearts of Pine will get a free kick. Varela for Wright. The way back for Camacho. Sent forward by Messer. And he's lost out to Hope Gund, whose shirt was being pulled. The referee allows play to continue, and Rio Hope Gund really slashes his way through a couple of challenges there. And eventually it is a foul, it's a free kick. And a yellow card is once again brandished by the referee. It looked like Mo Mohammed picked that one up.
Well, what a story for Rio Hope Gund. Has made such an impact for this team. Very intelligent player with the moments he chooses to invert, the moments he chooses to drive, as you just saw, but also the willingness to stay and provide defensive stability. That was a good idea from Dikwa.
That was a no-look feed from Rodriguez. And then a pirouette from Wada. Plays a lovely ball down this far side for Mohammed. And then Mohammed is stood up, but Portland will get the throw. We did mention it earlier, Bobby Murphy's side, the Achilles heel for them has been road games this season in all competitions. Again, they have had more draws than defeats, but they very rarely, if at all, actually, have picked up 3 points away from home. They haven't done it in the league. As we mentioned earlier, of course, haven't done it in the cup either. And it is caught up to them again tonight. But there's time to change it here. That's threaded through for James. Oh, it nearly falls for James. And then James thought he was brought down in the 18-yard box. No, Darce clears it for Quizera. Remember, there's no VAR to go back and check any moments like that. Referee's decisions there are final. The 1 or 2 Portland Hearts of Pine shouts here.
The argument is that the possession was already lost.
Well, no, Darce's hustle may have come off his arm. I think he tucked it in. It's a Portland throw. Well, Maven's Deli also always provides the flavors that score every time, whether it's their corned beef on rye or their Kugels. Visit them today to get your best flavor. Well, a good start to the second half here for Rhode Island. They've added on to their lead. Dikwa at the double. Has Rhode Island potentially on the cusp of taking a full stranglehold over Group 4 in the Jaggermeister Cup. Holstead in behind. Awkward touch from Varela. The goalkeeper, Oladapo, not necessarily in the right position. And then it's won back by Rhode Island here. Chance again to play this across. A handball appeal comes in. Messer, did he handle that inside the area? Rhode Island certainly think he did. Referee plays on. And eventually the play is stopped on the far side for a free kick.
Well, Joe Brito does very well to read this delivery pass and then try to get into the final third. No, nothing in that for me.
I don't even think that was in the penalty area, to be fair. Rodriguez for Quizera. Does keep the ball in play. Tries to go to the byline, but Varela does really well. But Rhode Island pick up the pieces with Rodriguez. Holstead under pressure. Forced to go back to Nodarse. Ooh, Holstead with a bit of a firm touch, but he does have Jackson Lee for company. Lee up ahead for Hope Gund, who has space to run into for Rhode Island. Dikwa was making a good run, but his touch takes it out of play. Well, do you have a game plan to pay for college? If not, check in with RISLA, a local expert on preparing, planning, and paying for college, go to risla.com today. Well, there's just been moments like that where it just hasn't quite come together for Portland Hearts of Pine. They've tried to muck it up a bit. Some of those Cano Smith adjustments, Marion, that you had mentioned earlier, have seemingly impacted the game in a positive way for Rhode Island, and it certainly helps when you have a master finisher in Albert Dikwa vacuuming in all the passing and scoring the goals.
We talked about it last week, I believe, that there were moments for this Rhode Island FC team that they needed to get Albert Dikwa involved in ways that he's best, right? Often they were playing him when it was 1v4, 1v3. They weren't giving him these moments in the 18-yard box to shine. They've been doing that tonight.
He's on a hat trick, Dikwa, and he gets the hat trick right on cue. Make it a triple. Albert Dikwa with a Jaggermeister Cup hat trick. And Rhode Island are over the hills and far away from Portland tonight. 3-0 they lead.
Well, this is a moment where the build has been efficient and it's been purposeful. 3 passes and Quizera is near the end line. Dikwa starts this one, and he not only starts it, but he finishes it. As soon as he plays that ball underneath for the third man combination, he finds himself as quickly as possible to the back post. 18-yard box defending. We talked about that being the kryptonite for this Hearts of Pine side, and that continues to be the case in this Rhode Island matchup.
Well, Cano's got to be thrilled with how that man's played tonight. Seemingly every ball that has found Dikwa has managed to be tucked into the back of the net. It's another Capelli Sport goal. A Dikwa hat trick. And Bobby Murphy has made a couple of substitutions. Pat Langlois and Ali Wright have both come on. Keegan and Riley come out. And as we approach the hour mark, it is all going Rhode Island's way in the Jaeger Cup tonight. What a delightful evening it's been for Albert Dikwa. Everything he's touched has turned to goals. And Portland now have to climb a mountain if they're going to get back into the game here. First touches for Ali Wright, who could certainly help in mounting a bit of a comeback here. The referee has a look at a collision there. It's just going to be a play on with Rhode Island in possession and 30 minutes of normal time left. But again, that goal is really important. It puts Rhode Island closer and closer to staying at the top of the group. It puts Portland Hearts of Pine closer and closer to potentially being eliminated from Jaggermeister Cup play. Maybe not tonight, but potentially by the end of the weekend.
And as good as Albert Dikwa has been as he earns this free kick away from the play, for me, the stars have really been the 3 central midfielders for Rhode Island. Clay Holstad, Maxi Rodriguez, Noah Fuson. And what they've been able to create in a deeper part of the field, it's allowed for players like Quizera, like Dikwa to shine in moments where they're at their best. We've seen Quizera have an incredible game today, but they put him in positions where he can succeed, right? Those 1v1 opportunities in the wide channels, getting services across. And their rotation has also allowed for Albert Dikwa to be involved in places where he's at his best, in the 18-yard box, on the back post, making slashing runs. All credit to those 3 central midfielders.
Rodriguez will take the free kick. Goes towards the far side edge of the 6, where it is headed down towards goal. But Oladapo is there. Whether you're headed to work, school, or game day, RIPTA will get you there with statewide service and easy trip planning. Transit's never been simpler. Go to RIPTA.com to plan your ride. Quite some time since we've seen this kind of a performance from Albert Dikwa. He's picked a perfect night to put up a heck of a performance. And he's on the prowl again. Forcing that clearance towards Ali Wright. And Wright, he's pulled back by Fuson. Free kick. Pushing a chase here. Mo Mohammed, double teamed, loses out. And then Holstead almost gave that away, but it's a chance for Rhode Island here. Fuson up ahead. Trying to pick out Joe Brito. Fuson follows up, but it's touched forward by Langlois. And Wada, lovely take. Gets it over the halfway line for Portland. Plays an exquisite ball out to this far side. Portland Hearts of Pine are in here, and they will get one back through Titus Washington. Wasashi Wada with some excellent build-up play. And it was a fabulous finish from Titus Washington, and Portland Hearts of Pine have a pulse in the Jaeger Cup.
Well, we pointed out to you in the lineup for a reason. He is the one that can pull all the strings and connect all the lines. It's a wonderful bit of play to evade the pressure of Maxi Rodriguez, and good recognition from Titus Washington just to peel his run wide enough for that channel to open up. A good run, a wonderful pass, even better finish.
We highlighted Titus Washington. He scored in the Open Cup game. I should say in the Open Cup earlier this season. That's his only goal of the season in all competitions until just there. Hasn't scored in the league yet for Portland, but he's got a goal in the Jaeger Cup that could potentially get Portland Hearts of Pine back into this. Still a lot of time left.
Likes to score against Rhode Island.
Fuson. For Brito. Brito will reset, although nearly played that into Washington's path. Yao for Nodarze. This is where Rhode Island need to reestablish dominant play that we've seen for a vast majority of the nearly 65 minutes. But will Portland use this goal to maybe get some momentum here? James threading it through, looking for Washington. It's well shepherded by Nodarze. But then Holstead gives away a throw on the near side.
And look, it's going to be a delicate balance now with the decision-making of Rhode Island FC in terms of the build-up. You can already see that the game situation is changing, and what this game is calling for Hearts of Pine to do is to chase. And they're going to be triggered by every single backwards pass that RIFC plays. That can be a slippery slope.
Dikwa tried to chase that ball down. Goes out for a throw-in. 25 minutes plus stoppage time left. James. Varela did well on this near side. I'll get another try at it here, Varela. Doubled up, but finds a teammate on this near side, and it's poked by Washington around the corner. But James, who's offside, kicks the ball away. Nowadays, that's more than likely going to get you a yellow. Perhaps not on this occasion. Referee just shook his head no when Maxi Rodriguez asked him the question. Has been cracked down on a lot more because, of course, it is the denial of a restart opportunity.
The card or no card, Rhode Island FC is not going to be upset with a little bit of a delay. Interesting tactic there from James.
Lee up ahead, it falls for Holstead. And then Messer with a loose touch allows Brito to get into the 18-yard box. Brito trying to pick out an angle for a cross. He's doubled up, running out of room here. Brito does get the ball into the middle, but nobody from Rhode Island was there to get a touch. Then Fuson handled the ball after nearly controlling it. Well, Miller Lite is a proud sponsor of Rhode Island FC. As you always know, when it's game time, it's Miller time.
I love that delivery from you. A lot of emphasis on it.
I appreciate that.
Not a truer statement.
You're right. You are right about that.
Sanchez does really well there. Player we don't call his name often, but is always involved, has been involved in several of the goals, several of the buildups in the wide areas. Such a key piece to the balance that we talk about RIFC wanting to strike between being not only a possession team, but also being a team like 2024 who is very, very dangerous in those transition moments. We've seen so much more of that balance here this evening.
It's a miscued clearance for a Rhode Island throw. Sierra will leave it for Holstead. Holstead with a laser of a throw, and then the layoff for Rodriguez by Dikwa. The execution on nearly all of that was superb, but Rodriguez flashes it wide. Oladapo needs to get rid of this here with Dikwa on his case. And Portland will clip it over the top. Still in search, Portland Hearts of Pine, of a second goal that would certainly make it a bit more nervy inside Centerville Bank Stadium down the stretch. Or will Rhode Island put a cherry on top of what's been a very strong performance tonight? A little pirouette from Ollie Wright. And then Messer down the line for Washington, who is going to get there ahead of Karifa Yao, and poked it past him. But Yao and Holstead do the rest to shepherd it out for a goal kick. It does look like both teams are getting set to make some changes here. Mark Ibarra and Danny Rovira are going to come on for Rhode Island. We're going to see J.T. Kamara for Portland Hearts of Pine. Brito and Holstead are coming out for Rhode Island here. And for Portland, it'll be Walter Varela, who is on a yellow card, who will make way. We'll see another man who could certainly make an impact down these last 20 minutes or so, in Kamara come in to try to help Portland climb the mountain. Two former Pittsburgh players entering at the same time, in Rovira and Ibarra. That's who Portland finished this group up with. They get the Riverhounds at home to end Jaeger Cup group stage play. Rhode Island, of course, will get Hartford. That'll actually be for a second consecutive week, because they play Hartford in the derby the week before that on national TV as well, late July. Double derby action. Definitely going to circle that one on the calendar. James does really well. Finds J.T. Kamara on this near side. His first touches since coming on. He has stood up on this near side. It's deflected out for a throw-in. Certainly from an attacking standpoint, Bobby Murphy's put his two biggest chips in the game here in Wright and Kamara. I still have Mikey Lopez on the bench, but it's really Kamara and Wright that'll be expected to try and create some chances down the stretch to make this a nervy ending. This one back by Wada. Couldn't quite find Titus Washington this time. Fuson. Gonna keep it away from a couple of challenges. Now Quizera waiting for some help on this near side, and Sanchez has it tucked away from out for a throw. Well, eFootball is here. Live your dream, rep your team, and play as your favorite USL Championship club. It's free to play, and you can download it now. Leaked over the sideline here. Throw in for Portland. And they'll get another one here with Mo Mohammed. Rodriguez battling for it with Washington. Portland have it here with Wada. Out to the far side. This is Ali Wright. Poked it through from Messer. Did it come off of Rivera's arm there? No, says the referee. And Rhode Island can move this up the other end. There's time and space for Quizera. Rio Hope gunned. And they'll slow it down just a touch, I should say, for Ibarra to switch for Sanchez. Ibarra, not able to find a teammate down this far side. It'll be a goal kick for Portland. HR, that matters. We've had multiple coaches tell us this season how the Jaeger Cup has been able to help them gain form back in the league, just gain overall momentum during a tough part of his season. That's exactly what Cano Smith will hope this game can provide if Rhode Island can see it through over these last 15 minutes. As Quizera is going to run out of room here. Fuson had his shot blocked, but it is a moot point, and it's a goal kick.
You know, it can be so easy in the regular season to get into a stretch of scouting and changing game to game that it can be quite easy to lose your identity, especially going forward, because oftentimes what you're changing is the defensive structure. But with USL Jaggermeister Cup, the beautiful thing is it forces you to be an attacking-oriented team. It forces you to go get goals, and it forces you to find really that attacking identity that makes up your brand of football. And I think that that's what we're seeing for RIFC here tonight, that comfort level, that confidence, not only on the ball, but the willingness to push numbers forward, something we haven't seen in previous weeks.
Ibarra. Rodriguez out to the far side. Gets it back from Hope Gund. This is Aldair Sanchez. To the byline. His cross into the middle is well placed. It's last off of Portland. Out for a Chick-fil-A Attleboro corner.
And this is a really patient build-up. And who did we talk about? Sanchez being involved in just about everything. This time he finds himself in a 1v1 isolated situation on the left-hand side. Sends a seeking ball in to Danny Rivera. With the additions of Rivera and Ibarra, brings up another interesting point. A good point if you're an RIFC fan, and maybe a bit of a difficult point to manage if you're Cano Smith and Dave McKay, the assistant coach, is that you got several players that are getting healthy. You have several players who are quality starting 11 caliber players, and that changes the dynamic of a team, right? We haven't seen JJ Williams know that he is close to being back, perhaps. Koke Vegas has been out as well. Grant Stoneman going out offers an opportunity for more players in a defensive or midfield role. A lot of changes for Cano Smith, Dave McKay and company, for Rhode Island FC fans to keep an eye on as well.
Well, Dikwa has fallen to the ground here, holding his left leg. He's been the hero tonight for Rhode Island, Scored all 3 goals for a Jaggermeister hat trick after he hadn't scored in the competition to this point. He'll be flying up the Golden Boot charts in this group phase. And while he's being evaluated, we get a chance to look back at his night, and then we've seen 3 excellent finishes throughout the evening.
And this was all about putting him into proper positioning and let his talent shine. He is one of the best aerial threats in and around the 18-yard box, one of the most classy finishers in terms of the 18-yard box as well. And so much of what he's been trying to do in the first part of this season had everything to do but that. He was trying to start plays, he was trying to get involved, he was on the defensive responsibilities, and it left no room really for us to see his talent shine in the attacking box, but with sons inside the area.
Well, we hope it's nothing too serious here with Dikwa, but he's going to be withdrawn here. Isaac Anking, who's had his own injury issues over the years, is going to replace him. And Dikwa gets a nice hand from the Centerville Bank Stadium crowd as he departs.
Rhode Island FC. Entering the match is number 80, Isaac Anking. Leading the match is number 10, Albert Chico Dikwa. In the 75th minute.
Still have the Chick-fil-A Attleboro corner. And it's whipped in nicely here. Oh, Karifa was right there. It's just over his head. Rhode Island recycle the attack. Back for Ibarra. And then back for Jackson Lee. Still, that chicken sandwich is out of reach. Fuson trying to cut this back, and it'll be another corner, it looks like. Also brought to you by Chick-fil-A Attleboro. They get another try at it.
No doubt the first player that scores this and wins this free chicken sandwich, I mean, cemented in history.
They may never have to buy a chicken sandwich again in Pawtucket. Or at Chick-fil-A Attleboro, for that matter. It'll be cemented in history for all time. Fuson will take it. Quizera just to his right. And Mohamed Hassan, as he's done all night, making sure nobody is getting too physical inside the 18-yard box. Fuson's ball in is dangerous, but it's right to the goalkeeper, Oladapo. Remember, Rhode Island takes on Hartford on July 19th in the Derby. First Derby here at Centerville Bank Stadium. You'll want to tune into that one. It'll be on national television, or you can get tickets to the game today.
And see me. How exciting would that
Marion,
be for everyone?
you're going to be there. That's right.
Any Rhode Island FC fans never been up to the lovely land of Pawtucket, Rhode Island, looking for any and all recommendations? Mike Watts, Devin Kerr, myself, we will take them. Excited to get up there and see this beautiful stadium, no doubt.
I've got a funny feeling you might get a couple of seafood recommendations.
I would hope so. Be very disappointed if not.
Rodriguez up ahead. Fuson has his pass cut out. Dikwa's hat trick has Rhode Island in charge here. There was, of course, the goal from Titus Washington. That's kept Portland just about in it here, but they have only 9 minutes to try and complete what would be one of the most unlikely comebacks we've seen.
I think one of the biggest call-outs of that goal is the response that Rhode Island had after it, right? Because we've talked about for this Hearts of Pine side that, yeah, there have been moments where you just look and you say, okay, what just happened, right? But they've always been able to respond. And you felt like maybe that was the moment where they start kind of ensuing this chaos level of attack, and then all of a sudden a 3-0 lead turns into 3-2, and we've got a different story. But Conno Smith has to be quite pleased with the response for Rhode Island FC to take the sting out of the game and continue to control the second half.
Rovira. Out wide for Rio Hope Gund. Fuson stays on side here. Anking. Quizera. Had Sanchez tried the shot instead. Kamara tries to clear it, but finds Rio Hope Gund. Here's Ibarra. Does feel like Rhode Island are trying to go for the jugular here and finish this off with a fourth goal. They'll get a throw in on the far side. And of course, one more reminder for you that Centerville Bank Stadium will be hosting Major League Rugby's championship game tomorrow, June 28th. Tickets are still available, but they're going fast. Go to majorleague.rugby/champ.
Centerville Bank Stadium, the best place to play in all of soccer.
The ball is fluttered over the top here, and Fuson was onside, and Quizera's there. But so is Cash Oladapo to cut down the angle. We're seeing Portland start to fade a bit here defensively. Fuson taken away by Ollie Wright, who made the initial mistake, but Fuson comes back to get it. His challenge is deemed to have been an unfair one. Free kick for Portland Hearts of Pine.
Noah Fuson has been very good on the day. We talked about really the last couple of weeks. It feels like there's an extra 20 or 30% that he could add to this game, add to this team. And I think not only the insertion of him back into that attacking midfield position, giving him a bit more confidence, a bit more freedom with the way that he likes to play. But Sean, you have to think that getting another goal to his name this season would get him that extra 10%.
It looked like Rhode Island a couple more. Early ball played in behind here for Fuson. Messer slips, and Noah Fuson's in to seal the deal. Noah Fuson makes it 4-1 Rhode Island. And they are firmly back on top of Group 4 and take a gigantic step closer to potentially making it through to the knockout stages.
Well, right on cue. Noah Fuson has done so much right in this game, and we've seen that extra 20%. And getting a goal in this match with this performance was all he needed to cap it off. And it's a wonderful bit of recognition, a lovely ball into space. His speed catches up to it, his composure finishes it. What a performance all around from RIFC.
Well, unfortunately, on the back end of that, Nathan Messer has picked up an injury as he tried to get the ball away from Noah Fuson after making the mistake. Would really, quite literally, add insult to injury for Portland tonight. Another Capelli Sport goal for Rhode Island. They've really needed a spark from Noah Fuson. Cano Smith hinted that he would try to get Noah Fuson in a better place to succeed tonight. That goal is going to do him the world of good going forward.
Love the celebration after it too, right? The point to the crest and what this club means to this community. Same can be said exactly for Portland Hearts of Pine. But I think sometimes with RIFC especially, it's quite easy to forget just how young of a club they are. Due to all the success they had in year one, the reality is there is still a foundation that's being built here, and they are light years ahead of where any realistic timeline would have put them. And so not only to see that foundation continue to be built, continue to sort problems out in real time, and then continue to have that positive response, that's all you can ask for. If you're a coaching staff, it's all you can ask for really if you're a fan.
From the kickoff, Ollie Wright tried to catch Jackson Lee off his line. Rhode Island made a couple of changes, by the way. It's going to be a season debut for Kevin Vang, who comes in. Maxi Rodriguez comes out. Jojea Quizera exits the game as well. Taimu Okiyoshi will step in. Anking. Layoff for Ibarra. Anking again. To the far side for Hope Gunn. Does Rhode Island nearly have this all settled now? Again, this result would more than likely mean that Portland would not be able to qualify. There's still a slight chance, but even that could evaporate if Hartford beats Detroit tomorrow. And that would officially knock Portland Hearts of Pine out of the Jaeger Cup, even with the game against Pittsburgh still to come. As a foul is called there. Fuson and Wright colliding. Ibarra for Fuson. Fuson tries to get back into the path of the ball. Langlois. Portland trying to move it down the far side. Foul and a free kick is, it's good to see Messer back up and running. Well, Marion, I asked you the question, is this the best Rhode Island performance we've seen this season in all competitions?
I think so. Look, I think that they've had moments, and I think there's even been some games where it's been 60, 65 minutes, but there's always been that lapse. And I think ultimately, in terms of what they came out to achieve tonight, yes.
Mohammed trying to get Portland to go back late on here as we approach stoppage time. A collision there. Free kick for Portland Hearts of Pine.
And to put a bow on that point, as we see a yellow card get assessed to Sanchez, they came out tonight with the intent, obviously, first and foremost, to win. Second intention tonight was to add a bit more directness that we saw from them in the 2024 season, be a bit more.
Ollie Wright will take. And Portland have Pittsburgh in the Jaeger Cup next time out. Go back to address League One play as this rolls out of play for a goal kick. They're 10th in League One coming into this weekend and have some work to do. And Bobby Murphy's side are going to get into the playoffs. Actually, instead of a goal kick, it's going to be a free kick for, I guess, an offside or possibly a foul in there. And again, to even put a more finer point on it, even a draw tomorrow and a potential shootout one way or the other with Hartford against Detroit, even that would eliminate Portland from Jaggermeister Cup play. This really was a game that Portland needed to get some points on the board in to have a legitimate chance, and it has slipped away from them, particularly at the start of the second half.
And we have to be realistic, right? 3 games in 10 days, and something has to give. And ultimately, you just mentioned it, they're still fighting for playoff positioning in their own league, right? And not to say that one's more important than the other, but you do have to make sacrifices, you do have to make adjustments. And there's also some pretty key injuries. And one of the biggest pieces that Portland has not had here tonight is a threat, is a player to occupy those 2 center backs for Rhode Island FC. And Azad Liadi, a player who can compete at any level and do that at any level with any center backs. You're definitely missing his presence here this evening.
No doubt. Fuson to the byline. He wins a Chick-fil-A Attleboro corner on the far side. Well, that would really put a cherry on top. If Rhode Island could score from this. The Attleboro stomp is in full effect. What's better than 4 goals, 5 goals, and a free chicken sandwich?
Couldn't have said it better myself.
Rhode Island's going to give it a shot here. Oh, but the referee won't let them take it. Oh. Well, that's the only time Rhode Island have been hard done by tonight. They've been excellent from start to finish. Arguably the best home performance that Rhode Island have put together all season, and they save it for the right moment. They beat Portland by 4 goals to 1 here tonight. They take another step towards the knockout stages in the Jaggermeister Cup, and Portland very likely now out. We'll have to go focus back on USL League One league play.
And in fairness for Portland Hearts of Pine, the first half performance really wasn't bad. I actually thought they gave themselves a chance to really get after in the second half. But all the credit has to be given to this RIFC team who recognized that approach from Portland Hearts of Pine and came out with a very hungry attitude, a very determined attitude, and really a solid second half performance.
Well, certainly Albert Dikwa amongst the heroes with his hat trick. And a big goal from Noah Fuson as well to put the game to bed. Rhode Island wins it over Portland by 4 goals to 1. They do a cup double over their rivals, and we'll wrap it up next.
You may think the nicest moments happen once you've arrived at your destination. At Breeze, we think they happen all along the way.
Yeah, let me grab that for you.
That was so nice.
Whether you're kicking back in Breeze Ascent or just enjoying time together in family seating, we take creating nice moments seriously, so you're ready for the rest of the journey ahead. When it's all over, the nicest moment might just be planning your next trip. Breeze. Seriously nice.
Progress. It's what we strive for, what we sacrifice for. It's about putting in the work. Early mornings, late nights, all in the pursuit of something greater. It's what moves us forward, what unites us. Because progress is more than a goal. It's the journey, the people who stand beside us, and the right partner. Centerville Bank, the official bank of Rhode Island FC. Progress on purpose.
At Ortho Rhode Island, we've built the future of orthopedic care around an important foundation, you. Our experienced surgeons and specialists offer the full spectrum of orthopedic care with leading-edge treatments and technology and a one-of-a-kind patient experience. From diagnosis to outpatient surgery, physical and occupational therapy, acute injury care, and advanced imaging, we make you the cornerstone of innovative care. To learn more or schedule an appointment, visit orthopedicsri.com.
Final score is brought to you by High Bar Physical Therapy, the official physical therapy partner of RIFC. Visit highbarhealth.com today to begin your journey to feeling better, moving freely, and living fully. Rhode Island feeling pretty good tonight. A 4-1 win over Portland Hearts of Pine. Sean St. Jacques, Marion Crowder here to wrap things up from Pawtucket. We start with the full-time highlights and a lovely opening goal from Albert Dikwa.
Yeah, get used to hearing that name in this span of 2 minutes because he was everything for this RIFC team tonight. He not only gets this one started with his defensive presence, makes the play predictable, but he also has arguably one of the best finishes on the night. Then we fast forward to the 28th minute. This game is 1-0. If Maxi Rodriguez does not make this save, this is a tie soccer match and perhaps a very different shift of energy, shift of momentum that does not see the same scoreline. So Maxi Rodriguez, that last-minute play ends up being a huge momentum saver for this RIFC team, and he does so much well when he's deeper behind the ball. He gets his hips open, he recognizes the width, and Quizera and Sanchez combine for a lovely near-post finish from Albert Dikwa to put this group up 2-0. And in the 58th minute, keep your eye on this near-hand side. Sanchez, Quizera, have we said it before? Yes, we have. It's rinse, it's repeat. Quizera opens up the shape, and Dikwa opens up his run to the back post, finds himself between 2 Hearts of Pine defenders, and a wonderful finish to the back post for his hat trick completed.
Portland Hearts of Pine.
Good player and someone that's going to really continue to shine in League One action. He pulls a lot of the strings, and Washington, that little hesitation, am I going to go inside? Nope, I'm taking you outside, and I'm finishing to the back stick. But it was going to be far too much for Hearts of Pine to mount a comeback. And in the 85th minute. Noah Fuson, he had done so much right today in a more attacking midfielder role than we've seen him this season, and he gets a goal to show for it. 4-1 ends up being the scoreline for this home side.
Massive result for Rhode Island because in Group 4, they are now in charge. 3 wins out of 3, a perfect 9 points out of 9. Hartford, of course, get a chance to respond tomorrow. Detroit will have to win that game to stay in with a chance at either first or potentially, of course, a wild card spot as well. But Rhode Island know that they are in very, very good position, and they'll play Hartford next in the Jaeger Cup on the final match day. Mikado Smith's side took care of business here at Centerville Bank Stadium tonight. A Dikwa hat trick leading the way. Fuson finishing it off late on, and a 4-1 victory over Portland Hearts of Pine, and a cup double over Portland this season for Rhode Island. For Marion Crowder and our entire crew, I'm Sean St. Jacques. We say so long from Pawtucket. 4-1, Rhode Island wins it with their best home performance of the season.
This copyrighted telecast of the United Soccer League cannot be retransmitted, rebroadcast, or reproduced without the express written consent of the United Soccer League.